Do you really need $10 million to retire early? Suze Orman says yes, but I think that's nothing more than fear-mongering. In this video, I'll break down why this advice is not only unrealistic, but also discouraging, and show you how you can achieve financial freedom without hitting that impossible target. So stay tuned on Simply Money. Let's start by looking at an article that Suze Orman was interviewed in, talking about where you need $5 to $10 million in order to retire early. We're going to discuss how this advice can cause unnecessary fear and anxiety, especially for those who are working hard to achieve early retirement. So here in the article, $2 million is nothing, Suze Orman warns. Don't retire if you don't have at least $5 million or $10 million saved. You don't believe me? Let's read a few things from this article. Let's break this down a bit. Then we're going to dive deeper on how you can achieve financial freedom on way less than $5 or $10 million. When asked if such an amount, $2 million, was enough to retire, she says $2 million is nothing. It's nothing. It's pennies in today's world, to tell you the truth. So in Suze Orman's mind, $2 million is nothing. Now I want to stop there. We're going to look at this for a second. And I'm not proposing the 4% rule as the end-all be-all of financial withdrawals of your retirement portfolio, but we're going to use that for simplicity today. There's lots of different withdrawal strategies, and just like retirement funds, you have to come up with what works best for you, your lifestyle, your plan, your risk tolerance, all sorts of factors that are personalized for you. So a blanket statement that the 4% rule is the way to go is false. A blanket statement that $2 million is not enough to retire is false. There are going to be some people exactly right. $2 million is not enough to retire. But I'm here to tell you, I believe the vast majority of American people, Canadian people, Great Britain, many countries, $2 million is way more than you need to retire and live a comfortable, enjoyable life. 4%, that's $80,000 a year. If you have a $2 million portfolio, the 4% rule says that you will take out $80,000 year one, and then year two, you'll adjust that according to inflation. So if inflation is 3%, you'll increase that $80,000 by 3%, and that'd be your year two withdrawal, and continue to go up in that withdrawal strategy. And that point alone is something in this article that I believe Suze Orman gets totally wrong, and we're going to look at that. Let's scroll down here real quick where she talks about that. We'll go back up here. She says, addressing the common retirement strategy of withdrawing 4% annually, Orman was skeptical. I think that in the long run, $80,000, especially after taxes, and as you get older, is not going to be enough. You may think it's going to be enough, but it's just not. Maybe you're right. In 20 years, 30 years from now, $80,000 won't be enough, but that's not how the 4% rule works. You take out $80,000 this year, 4% this year. 30 years from now, that has kept up with inflation because you have increased that $80,000 each year by the amount of inflation. So your spending power of $80,000 today will be the same in 30 years. Thus, the 4% rule takes in consideration inflation. That is a total misstatement there by saying $80,000 won't be enough in 30 years. She's right. It probably won't be for a lot of people because of inflation. But 4% is increased by inflation. So again, I believe she gets this wrong here, and I think that's just that fear-mongering of people that mean well and want you to be secure, but what they're doing is getting you to feel like you can never stop working and you must work until the day you die. She also proposes working until you're at least 70. Don't take Social Security until you're 70. Again, that may be right for some people, but for a lot of people, taking Social Security at 62, 65, or somewhere in between any of those 62 and 70 may be right for you. And that's why it has to be individualized. And a blanket statement like this is just more of that fear mongering. And then the average person gets frustrated and says, well, I can never retire. I'll never be financially free. And they give up. So Orman explained right here in the article, on the potential financial dangers that could deplete such savings quickly. If you have 20 million, 40 million, 50 million, or 100 million, be like me. That right there tells you all you need to know. Here is a person, and I want to show you a little article, a separate article on her portfolio. This is why Suze Orman thinks you need $5 or $10 million. If you want to live like Suze Orman, yes, be like her. She just said it. Be like me. If you have 10, 20, 30, $100 million, be like me. What's it like to be Suze Orman? Well, in 2007, her and her wife, Kathy Travis, bought a 1,200 square foot apartment in the plaza for $3.6 million. I don't know about you, but my financial independence journey does not include buying a $3.6 million apartment. If you want that, save up. Yes, get 20, 30, $100 million. But we're talking about the average person. And when she does these interviews, I don't think she takes in consideration the average person. I think she's lived in a bubble way too long to realize what the everyday person walking around lives like and what they need to not only survive. I don't want you to have a financial independence that is so strict that you can't live and enjoy life, but you don't need $10 million because you're not going to probably go buy a $3.6 million plaza. Oh, it gets better. Right here. In 2004, Miss Orman and Miss Travis bought their primary home, 2,175 square foot condo with windows, 600 square feet of outdoor space in Hillsborough Beach, Florida, for $954,000. Okay, so that's more reasonable. That is a high-end house. That's not extravagant in the sense of $3.6 million, but it is way above the median house cost of the average person in the United States. But it gets better. That's her primary. She has her house, the apartment in the plaza for 3.6. But earlier this year, while she and Miss Travis were on a fishing trip in the Bahamas, they came across a waterfront parcel near where they were docked. Miss Orman said it was up for sale because the previous owner lost her money investing with Bernie Madoff. Stop there, pause, caveat, rabbit trail. Bernie Madoff, good example. Why don't put all your eggs in one basket? You diversify because there are scammers out there. There are regulations in place to help, but there is always people looking to steal your money like Bernie Madoff. Diversify your investments. That's another video for another time. Back to the article. On the spot, Orman said, "I'll take it." She recalled, she said they paid $2.5 million for the property, which turned out to be roughly equal to the proceeds from the sale of a 53-foot yacht and a San Francisco home. Point being, she paid $2.5 million cash. She has a $3.2 million apartment. She has a $1 million primary home. If, like the first article says, you want to be like me right here, 100 million, be like me, okay, then you need $5 to $10 million to retire. But do you really want to be like Suze Orman? Or are you looking just to retire? Are you looking to find financial independence, financial freedom? That's the point. What you need is based on your lifestyle that you want to live. Perhaps you want to go camping. Perhaps you want to take road trips. Perhaps you want to go fishing or golfing or hang out with your friends or join a book club. Spend more time with the grandkids. Maybe you want to travel worldwide, so you need a little bit more money, but you don't need $10 million. Suze, your advice actually is so good, but please stop telling everybody they need $5 or $10 million to retire. You don't. The whole reason I'm sharing this is because I want to share with you what you really need to be focused on. Right now, if you're 20, 25, 30, 35, perhaps you don't need to set a number on how much do I need until I can retire. If you're trying to hit FIRE, that's a whole nother story. There's videos out there for FIRE. But I'm talking retirement or even early retirement, 55, 60. That's early retirement. Perhaps that's what you're looking at. Maybe there you need to start having a number if you're 45, 50, 55. Start figuring out about what you're going to need to hit that goal, what that crossover point is, when you can retire, when you can be financially independent, because your income surpasses your expenses. Your passive income crosses over your expenses. But what you need to do is begin by saving. Lots of videos. Check out the videos on setting up your financial independence journey. You need to start saving. You need to start investing. You need to reduce expenses and get out of debt rather than accumulating and increasing debt. These are strategies to help you achieve financial independence at whatever age. Maybe it's at 67, maybe it's at 70. Regardless, these are strategies that help you reduce the amount you need and to help you achieve an amount that gives you a lifestyle of comfort. I want to empower you. Simply Money is here to empower you to make informed decisions. We're here to help you become educated, to learn how to invest, to learn how to achieve financial freedom. And by putting a marker so far out, I'm big on setting goals, and you need to have goals that are attainable. By saying, I want to lose 100 pounds, that's a great goal, but you need to get specific. You need to set steps for that. I want to retire. I want to become financially independent. You need to set steps for that, a process. How are you going to achieve that? It begins by reducing expenses, setting aside money in savings, having an emergency fund, and beginning to invest. If you don't understand investing, you need to get educated. So many times people think, well, I'm just being safe, I'm being smart, but you're not keeping up with inflation, and you need to get educated on solid, wise, diverse investments that can outpace inflation and help you achieve financial independence. But regardless, if you do not spend less than you make, you'll never get there. So again, Suze Orman, lots of great advice. I'm not throwing it all out. I'm saying this particular topic is ridiculous. Don't let it scare you. Begin to save. I know people who have retired on 300,000, 500,000, some with even less than that. It all depends. Do you have a pension? How much is your Social Security going to be? Do you have a paid off house? All sorts of factors, and they're all individual to you. So don't let one person say this is a one size fits all. You need $5 or $10 million, because I bet Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, they might say, yeah, I'd struggle living on $5 million for the rest of my life, because they've got a lifestyle that is vastly different than you and I. And Suze Orman does as well. And you do not need that amount of money. If you do, fine, that's yours. But that's not the norm. That's not the median amount people need to retire. In fact, the median amount of people's retirement savings is way less than that. Around $300,000, $400,000 is what the median amount saved is. So you can do it. I believe you can achieve your financial independence if you set a plan and stick to it. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. And I appreciate you joining me today on Simply Money, and we'll see you next time.